Hello, boys and girls. 3 flights, about 18 hours of travel. I made it from Calgary to Budapest, Hungary. You see, before 1873, Budapest was 3 separate cities: Pest, Buda, and Old Buda. Then they all united to make Hungary's capital, Budapest. Here you see the Danube River and Margit's Bridge, and this little island in the middle of the river where you can exercise and run about 5 kilometers on a circular paved rubber track that spans the circumference of the island. When I landed in Budapest, the first thing I thought was Eastern Bloc. But as you get away from the airport a little bit and into the city, you can notice its charm. It's a photographer's dream, from its rustic architecture, beautiful statues, and even how nature is incorporated in the city. Very few places can compare. I stayed on the Buda side of the city. That's the more hilly residential part. Then I would cross into Pest. That's the more business, fast-paced part of the city. They have an amazing parliament building. It's the 4th largest parliament building in the world, behind Westminster, Washington, D.C., and Bucharest. Being in Budapest is kind of like being on a movie set. All of the old Gothic architecture, and they aren't just facades. Something that I noticed while being in Budapest is that the buildings have a theme to them. They're either going to be yellow or have a cream tint. Navigating the public transit there is a breeze. You could buy a 24-hour or 72-hour pass and ride the trains, buses, or subways all you want. Mind your flag orientation, because the red, white, and green happen to be the national colors of many countries. On my first day, I did a lot of exploring of District 5 and 6 on foot, and loved what I saw. I have an appreciation for the brick roads and cobblestone sidewalks. I would average about 7 miles of walking per day, so I wandered into a donut shop. Why not? Shout out to Bruce Willis. In Europe, when you see the green cross, it doesn't mean the same thing that it means in North America. It just means pharmacy. For breakfast every morning, I would stop at the Bambi Cafe, where I would get a ham and cheese omelet, and instead of salt and pepper on the table, they have paprika. See, even though Hungary is part of the European Union, they don't use the euro over there. They use the Hungarian forint. Even though they accept the euro, that's their main currency. When doing conversions in my head, I would liken it more to pesos or yen. Here you see the chain bridge on the Buda side, right near the Buda Castle. Since I wasn't hired by the Hungarian Board of Tourism, I could give my honest opinions about things. 2 attractions that I went to that I don't think were worth the money were the Harry Houdini Museum and Dracula's Labyrinth. Just a little tip to save your hard-earned money. I love how the city's architecture has many different styles. When I saw this building, my first thought was Hogwarts. And then we made it to the world's famous Zecchini Baths. They give you a wristband with a chip in it for access, and you can even have your own personal dressing room to get changed and store your stuff. For some of the indoor bathhouses, it's attached to a natural hot spring, so you're gonna get some of that sulfur smell. But hey, that's the cost of doing business. Then we headed over to the Jewish district to have some wine tasting and charcuterie at Table Tasting Budapest. Luckily, the lines at the New York Cafe weren't too long. Got to order some goulash and coffee. It's been open since 1894 and was originally an insurance company. At 6 o'clock, musicians came in and played Por una cabeza. You may know it as the tango from True Lies. This is Matthias Church in the Castle District. It was originally built in 1015. It's been well maintained and there's so much iconography in one area. The other tourists that I encountered in Hungary were from many different countries. I rarely heard a North American accent when I was there. The people on the street don't smile that much, but they'll be quick to assist you if you have a question. Found a bar called Calgary, but it wasn't open. When exiting the country, we flew through Ryanair. Make sure to be checked in at least 2 hours prior to your flight, or there will be an extra charge. The next stop is Athens, Greece. With so many sites, it's hard to name them all. Got the Acropolis, the Parthenon, the Temple of Zeus, the Agora ruins, the Church of the Holy Apostles. Unlike Hungary, where I said it was hard to find a North American accent, in Athens, I heard it everywhere. When walking at the Acropolis, you have to be sure to mind your steps because the marble is very slippery. Also, watch out for tourist traps. If you don't want to buy anything, don't even engage in conversation. The service industry in Athens was an upgrade compared to Budapest because in Budapest, the waiters do not expect a tip. Right near Syntagma Square, there's a little shop where a guy will make you some of the best ice cream you've ever tasted. He uses goat milk, candy, and fresh fruit. There are many open-air markets where you can buy fruits, vegetables, meats, and even souvenirs to bring home. I'll spare you the Greek history lesson because many of us learned some of that in school and it'll take me years to get through everything. stop on the trip was Paris, France, and it did not disappoint. The Eiffel Tower is everything you would expect it to be. There's an elevator that takes you to the top. While in Paris, we got to eat at a 3 Michelin star restaurant. 1 star means a very good restaurant. 2 stars means excellent cooking that is worth a detour. 3 stars means exceptional cuisine worth a special journey. Le Château de Versailles. I didn't know Versailles was its own city. I just thought the palace was called Versailles. So when I hopped in a taxi and asked the driver to take me to Versailles, she asked if I wanted to go to the chateau. And I didn't know that meant the same thing as the palace, so. The palace was made by Louis XIV as its primary residence. The sheer size and opulence of this place is mind-blowing. When on the grounds, you could rent a bicycle or a golf cart to get around. There are many properties on the grounds, so you need a whole day set aside to see it all. They even maintain a little hamlet from where the staff used to live. Euro Disney is a little bit outside of the city, so you need to secure your transportation or stay at a hotel over there to enjoy a full day. They have the same attractions and a similar layout to the one in California. It's just that the topography and the surroundings look a bit different. At the end of the night, they have a nice projection onto the castle that tells a story. There you have it. There's my review on 3 of the European countries that I went to. I don't really know how to end these things, so